love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't stop. Just give me up. Don't stop. Back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack.
What up, guys? We're back. You know, long time no see. Myself and BJ, we've been busy all weekend, stuff like that. So we couldn't give you a more in-depth week 2, week 3 recap, but we will be talking about the game of the weeks. But we will give you a full and detailed week 4 recap. We got our first ever regular season power ranking dropping. Look at the current playoff race, current standings, and just look at what week 5 game of the week is. It's a very intriguing 2 undefeated teams going to hit each other. Battle of the commissions as well, so should be a fun one to watch, be part of the broadcast to you guys live. So BJ, how you doing? I know it's been a busy weekend for you, and it's Tuesday and it feels like it's been an eternity since you've been on here.
Yeah, man. Again, guys, sorry for the delay. Wish we could have made it a little bit quicker and more often, but you know, life happens. Been a busy week. First week back teaching in person with my kids back now, so you know, just trying to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, so with no further ado, we'll go through the game of the week recaps. Start with week 2 game of the week, which we had the Tennessee Titans versus the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I know most of you are watching the broadcast, and we're telling you we don't pay these guys for their strategies and how to play these games. But this was a very unique, like, what WTF, what's going on, moments, stuff like that. Like, you ask yourself as a football fan, like, man, what choices are these guys making, stuff like that. But I can't complain. It was a very entertaining game. Buffalo Bills pulled out the winning by 3 points. Game-winning field goal was able to hold the Titans off. Bad days for the quarterbacks. Josh Allen did have 3 touchdowns, but both quarterbacks threw 4 picks. So not what you want to see out of the quarterback. So, but it was a very close game, very entertaining. If you actually don't want to go watch it, watch our broadcast, watch our commentary. BJ, I don't know how long he keeps his videos, but he streams everything on his Twitch channel, the King of the Hill, and stuff like that. You can go watch all those videos and see like what we're talking about. So, BJ, I mean, I know it's been a while, but I still remember this game asking what Snow or T are doing half the time in their decision making. But all in all, they made it a great game, very enjoyable for week 2.
Yeah, it was definitely really interesting. You know, to save time for this recording, we decided not to do the video. So if anybody actually like missed it and wants like the quick recap of the game, just let me know. I already have it. I just need to upload it and make it public for everybody. But like crazy game, a lot of turnovers and some questionable decision making. You know, I really thought T was gonna pull it out, but I think he kind of gave the game away a little bit, you know. But you know, some big plays, big things happen, and as you see, Stephon Diggs, the 2 touchdowns. He was big down the crunch time of the game. So, yeah.
So it was a big, important game. But moving on, we go week 3 recap now. This game's a little bit different. It was one-sided. Pittsburgh, Crispy. He traded a bunch of pieces for that secondary. That secondary showed up in big fashion, getting 4 picks out of Deshaun Watson. Yes, you're reading right. Davis Mills, conformed with that. He had to go to court and change his name to Money Mills. He said he wants to make money, so he went to the court legal system, says, "Can I please change my name?" And they said, "Sure, yes." But now he's known as Davis Money Mills.
The third.
Yeah, the third, something like that. But Crispy came out, defense very strong, evident from the beginning, running a lot of the man press with his new acquired cornerbacks, trusting to bring the blitzes to cover receivers. Nothing could get open for the Cleveland. Cleveland would drive the ball down the field, turn the ball over in the red zone, stuff like that. It was unfortunate game, but Crispy capitalized on that the mishaps on the Browns. Made sure he did not turn the ball over too many times. He did have the 2 picks, as we mentioned, but overall, it was a solid game for Crispy. Going to 3-0 after this game, 17-0, taking control of the AFC North.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those games where the score, doesn't really tell how it was at the beginning of the game. Like, it was pretty tight. Nobody was really pulling away. As CG was talking about those picks. The picks definitely changed the game around, and Crispy was able to pull it out. We also had a game of the week quick. In the third quarter?
Yeah, midway through the third, the guy threw a pick. It wasn't. It looked bad because he threw a pick and he quit. However, he had to go pick his kid up, and he knew the game was getting out of hand. I was kind of like we didn't expect that. We don't like people quitting, but he knew it was getting out of hand. Instead of trying to finish the game, he went to pick up his kid up, which is fine, perfectly understandable. But if you're scheduling games, make sure you're trying to schedule around, not pick up kids or have to go do something. So. But all in all, it was very interesting, stuff like that. I'm intrigued to see the rematch, if there's going to be any changes. Obviously, the Browns need to come up with a different game plan because when you score 0 points, it's now is a good look. So hopefully establish around Chubb or maybe creating different options to beat man in zone coverage.
Yeah, one thing I do now that I remember the game is coming back to my memory a little bit. One interesting thing that we did notice is how Myles Garrett was playing D tackle as opposed to the end. So, I wonder if that's going to change as the season goes on. But to reiterate on that, making sure you schedule your time around when you're able to play, but also just knowing that like life happens. So, just let us know if something happens when you're unable to play or something comes up. It's all good. Just, make sure everybody's kept up to date. But let's keep moving on. We don't want to make this forever.
So those are our speed fast recap of weeks 2 and 3. Now, week 4. We actually finished full week, so we go to more detailed week 4, go to more emphasis. You see players of the week, Justin Herbert. Man, Justin Herbert's a man on a mission this year. 318 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's had a bunch of points. He's thrown a bunch of touchdown passes. He also thrown a lot of picks as well. We will get to that maybe later in the season when we talk about stats. But so, and then Eric Hendricks, 12 tackles, 1 interception. That was a forced win to the Vikings. They did play, and Vikings was winning, and then they disconnected. But so that's kind of the same stats. But Justin Herbert, full accurate stats right there. Very, very interesting to see because we haven't seen quarterbacks put up those kind of numbers this season. So,
you see here, Eric Hendricks. 12 tackles. This is a lot of tackles, especially when you're playing you actually use it or not.
Yeah, that's the stat. It's like it's funny to see the sim stats. Like when you see sim stats like this, it's like 12 tackles and like everyone used the game. I think the most I got most tackles was 6 was Isaiah. He had 12 total, but like 6 solo. But like that was the most I've ever seen in the game. With 7-minute accelerated quarters, I don't see guys getting 12 tackles. That's many times that you should be. So.
Yeah, but all around, pretty good game for both players, so we're gonna keep pushing. All right, so we're gonna go to the game of week for week 4, and as you see, close game. Unfortunately, I was unable to watch this and stream this one because this weekend was crazy and I was out. But as you see, CG and those Cardinals sneak off with a 3-point victory. Kyler Murray, 13 for 20, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. Clean game from him. He also had 4 rushes, 11 yards, and a touchdown. Hopkins, 3 catches, 84 yards, a touchdown. He had 2 picks from Jackson. Baker, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 301 yards. Christian McCaffrey had 9 rushes for 50 yards. You would think you might want to give him a little bit more touches with a start like that, especially with a great player like that. But Roby Anderson had 3 catches, 126 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Barnes comes out there with that forced fumble. But CG, how'd that game go? How'd you feel about that one?
Well, first, let's just say I started playing the game, and then one of the first time I had 10 players on the field, and I said, "Oh Jesus, what a great product we have right here." So we reset the game. I had to go fix. So just for anyone's awareness, if you have formation subs on, like you make different subs or formations of different players, and they get injured, EA will not fix it for yourself. You have to reset your whole formation subs and go from there, because for some reason EA can't put the next best player in there. So that's lesson 1 that we're in. Lesson 2 is trust your cornerbacks you have on your roster. Don't sign a free agent cornerback. So Robbie Anderson torched the free agent signing at the tag. I was trying to see if change things up. But Jackson was upset about that. But Jackson had 2 picks, making the game-winning interception in the red zone, out in the end zone, so which was huge. Feel comfortable more in offense this year. Like we said at the beginning, offense is a different animal this year. Different blocking techniques, different schemes, trying to mix the run in the pass in there. It's the most comfortable offense game I've felt. Some fans still need to work on it. Just EA being EA, but also like myself, understanding how like the protection doesn't understand when you slide left. Not every offensive line should slide left, stuff like that. Just understanding how that works. But overall, it was a good game. Glad to come out the win. I was choked at the end by not taking my touchdown, trying to chew some clock, making use of some timeouts. But overall, good game. Bounced back from our week 1 loss in overtime. We didn't lose mind, panic all over the place. We focused, locked back in, and then on a 3-game winning streak. Looking to go to 4 against the Eagles this week.
Okay, cool. And we're gonna move on. We're getting to our current standings. So right now, hopefully everybody can see. Might be a little small for CG. I'm pretty sure everybody that's watching this video is going to be able to see though. So at our NFC standings, NFC East, we have the Giants at 3-1, Commanders 2-2, Cowboys 2-2, and then the Eagles are 0-4. Tough start. NFC West, we have San Francisco at 3-1, Arizona at 3-1. Everybody else at 0-4. Seattle and the Rams are struggling a lot, and hopefully they can get things turned around over there. NFC North, my division. We have me, Green Bay Packers at 3-1 at the top. Minnesota 3-1. Detroit 2-2. Chicago 0-4. NFC South, we have the Saints 3-1. Atlanta 2-2. The Bucks 2-2. The Panthers 0-4. And then to our AFC side, we have AFC East, Bills at 3-1, Dolphins at 2-2, Patriots at 2-2, Jets at 2-2. That's a pretty tough division. That's anybody can win that one. AFC West, Chargers at 4-0. Also have the Broncos at 4-0. Chiefs 3-1, Raiders at 0-4. AFC North, we have the Steelers at 4-0, Cleveland at 3-1. Cincy at 2-2, Baltimore at 4-0. That's tough with Lamar to be 0-4.
0-4 with Lamar. That's you don't see that every day. So
yeah. AFC South, we have the Colts at 4-0, Titans at 2-2, Jaguars at 2-2, and Texans at 3-1. And first thing that comes to mind for me when I see this, and this is very biased of me, is my 1 loss, and I'm still very upset about. So for anybody that didn't know about my first loss, it came at like 2:00 in the morning. I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk, but waiting around.
Sounds like crying over spilled milk.
Man, 2:00. 2 hours waiting, another hour to play. I've never played a whole
BJ. I have never seen BJ so upset just about over a single game. Not by the gameplay, but like the someone that plays style. It's very interesting to see from one of our commissioners. So when I look at this, I look at the NFC and I say no one's undefeated NFC. Everyone's had 1 loss. different aspects of how they lost the game, stuff like that. People are frustrated and stuff like that. Like my game, I was frustrated at mine. Still loss is a loss. You move on, move forward with it. Vikings lost on the fair sim, if I remember correctly. Giants lost on the fair sim. Saints lost the actual game to the Vikings. So, like, the NFC, like, the race for number one in the NFC is wide open. Anyone can get it at this point. It's like, there's some teams that show more promise than others, but anyone, if you look at it right now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams tied at the same record. So,
what correction on one of those? The Packers, like I beat the Vikings. I'm his one loss.
Oh, did you? Okay. Apologies. I didn't know. There's so many games to lose track with.
No, you're good. I just want to make that known. You know.
Just show your dominance in the NFC North. Noted. Got it. So Vikings one loss was TBJ. So, but still, 6 teams tied 3-1. So if you look at the AFC, you got your undefeated teams, and you got 4 undefeated AFCs. You got the Chargers, who were very promising. Granted, we did have to remind him about the 14-point score limits 2 times so far this season. So, but next one, he does know if it does happen, he will lose a dab. But we have notified him, let him know that. But I mean, the Chargers defense looks pretty good. I mean, obviously, if you play head to head and you look at the roster on paper, it's awesome. So, only a franchise, it's only expedites so you can change your abilities to what you want for the matchup too.
Definitely not surprising at all. That team is very good.
Very, very, very good. I would, in the regular actual NFL, I would not be surprised if it's a Bills Chargers AFC Championship game this year. Excuse me. Broncos almost choked against the Raiders last week. It was hilarious. Cole got a blocked extra point to win by 1. It was fun to watch. Cole almost choked the game away, but he is still undefeated. Crispy, as we say, Steelers, very dominant so far. It's showing providence of the game. I would say this. His defense is, his defense is good and great and stuff of that nature. I want to see him go against a very high-powered offense that knows what they're doing, stuff like that. I would like to see that, to see how his scheme ends up with it. I'm not down the scheme at all. I think the scheme's great. I think what he's doing is great, stuff like that. But I would be very intrigued to see a team with a very competitive battle. But I looked at the Steelers' schedule and actually compared them out in the NFL, so I was curious. It's not that many teams that have shown off of the promise that he actually plays against this year, which is unfortunate because you don't want to see it, but hey, you never know. Some team might surprise him, and maybe Money Mills has a bad game. If you got the Coach Cam, JT Monster, hand the ball. Cam is a Coach fan as well, so. But that's what we see so far. It's very interesting. So I think AFC number 1 seed right now is wide open. You got 4 teams at 4-0. The AFC East is very, very intriguing. Bunch of teams 3-1, but a lot of fair sins in there as well, 2-2, stuff like that. So AFC East, man, it's gonna be very interesting to see how it plays out. So, but moving forward, go to the power rankings. The first one of the regular season. I lied. Playoff race.
All right, so just a quick look at the playoff race, how things are looking right now. We have the 1 seed with the Saints, 2 Giants. Yes, I'm not going to go over all that, but you can see what the standings are looking like right now. As of right now, wild card spots in the NFC, Cardinals and the Cowboys, and then the AFC, we're looking at Cleveland and. I think they actually did that wrong, but it's all good because I believe Denver is considered a. Oh no, that's still the
no. Denver is correct. So it's 3 wild cards. And also, fun fact is, so what is the tiebreak for divisions? It's about your point differential if they have the same record, stuff like that. Like if you go AFC, stuff like that. But since they're both undefeated right now, it's about point differential. That's why Chargers number 3 and Broncos number 5.
Okay, yeah. So correction: 3 wild card spots. NFC, we got the Vikings, the Cardinals, the Cowboys. AFC, we have the Broncos, the Browns, the Patriots. And as you see, those bubble teams, same record as those 2 teams that are. One of the teams that are already there. So, 1 win, at this point, or a half a game or some points is separating from being in the playoffs and out of the playoffs as right now. But, it's 4 games. Still plenty of time left.
Also, for people who don't understand playoffs as well, you're only allowed 3 teams per division. So you see 4 AFC East teams on there. I mean, you could be contention for a playoff spot, but there's 3 AFC East teams already in the playoffs, taking up let's say the Bills win their division, and you have the other team take up the 5-6. If you're the 7th best team, you still won't qualify for the playoffs. But that's highly unlikely. We won't see that situation most often, even in Madden. But like we said, I mean, look at the NFC. Like, you got your first 6 teams are all 3-1, so it can interchangeable be a big difference here and there, just swapping 2 teams around. So, but. And moving on. Now let's talk about the playoff race. Now talk about the power rankings. So, very interesting. Number 1 is the Chargers. No, I mean, like we said, man, that defense, he's been blowing out people. I don't think he has had his. He had one, maybe, I don't even think he had a close game yet. No, he had one close game. It was a desync, so he beat the Raiders by 14-7, but it was a desync, so he won a half, and they sent out, conceded. Crispy number 2 still. Obviously, I'll go 1A and 1B right now. Both those teams have shown to be at the top 10 contenders of the team. Complete revamped skills, so different playing style, how trying to form to the Madden way, stuff like that. So, Broncos at number 3, undefeated. Colts at number 4. BJ, the Packers at 5. Myself at 6. Then you got the 3-1 Browns at 7. The 3-1 Vikings at 8. The 3-1 Giants at 3-1 Saints at 10. So, but there's so many teams, we only can do 10. So we looked at the records, we looked at the data leagues, put together, looked at the common opponents, stuff like that. So in the hunt, the Bills also 3-1. Obviously, you can throw them in there as well. But the Bills did lose to the Dolphins. They are technically 2-2 right now, so obviously we're gonna bump them out a little bit because the other 3-1s in there are on a fair sim and stuff in that nature. 49ers also 3-1. Great schedules, stuff like that. Their loss was to Denver in a very close game, so it was very entertaining. Dolphins 2-2, Titans 2-2. A lot of top contenders in there. You could change this list, cut a skin in different ways, but I feel like the top 4, they're undefeated right now. They say the top 4. After this week, I will say this: one team will have a loss that's undefeated and will not be an undefeated, and that will be our game of the week. But we'll get to that in a few bit. BJ, how do you feel? How do you feel about the power rankings? I mean, you're staying at number 5, so do you feel comfortable like that? Do you feel okay with it?
I think these rankings right now are perfect, really. Like you said, that one spot, I think it's between those two. You know, those two have been between Crispy and I'm not sure who the Chargers user is, but
Nelly is the Chargers user. So
Nelly, okay,
yeah, Nelly, N-E-L-I. Common spell. Okay.
Yeah, but both of those two have pretty much, dominated, played great defense, some good offense, great offense at times. But those two at the top, I think, is the correct order at the moment. Followed by Cam and Cole. I don't know. We'll see, how that game goes. Me personally, I think Cam might be 3 as opposed to 4. Just off the fact that I think Cole has had some interesting games so far. Some he could have lost, but we'll see. They play each other this week, and we'll see. As far as 5 and 6, man, we're down there somewhere. I don't think at any point.
I think it's funny thing is I think we're both 1 point difference in being undefeated as well. So,
but I also don't think that either one of us has even touched where we're going to be at this year. So. It's one of those things where it's like I'm taking things for what they offer at this moment because I know that neither one of us are. I can't speak for both of us. I know that I'm nowhere near happy with how I'm playing right now. So still haven't got a full feel of the game.
Completely understandable. The game is so adjustment period, stuff like that. Some people adjust faster. I will say this: Crispy and Cole. I'm not sure Nelly plays MUT too, but I know those two definitely play MUT, so they play a little bit more and they understand the meta and the schemes, and they got you have to be on channel to play, stop the meta and play MUT if you play verbatim, stuff like that. I play in the competitive franchise league, stuff like that. So you gotta get adjustments. it's easy to adjust faster if you play more games and understand going against those schemes like that. Obviously, not everyone in single franchise ran meta. We don't allow that. That's why we have the cooldown and the lockdown. So we did put people do that. It'll get very, very, very stale, very, very fast. So we like to keep things interesting. So, but like I said, we see 14 teams on this list that could easily be in the top 10. Just how you skin a cat. So, but like this week,
and there were definitely some more as well.
Exactly. So when we looked at records, stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of great users out there. I know we got the Falcons, the Buccaneers. I just said two teams off the top of my head in NFC you can think about. So, so looking at this, we have the 3 versus 4 this week. We have the 2 versus in the hunt, which we'll call 11 right now. So we got 2 versus 11. You got the 9 versus 5. I mean, there's so many good games this week, but we had to be one. And we decided, you know what? Let's give it to the commish. Let's give it to the 2 commissioners we have. We got the Buccaneers versus the Colts for game of the week. Broncos. Sorry, get my B's wrong. So, but Broncos versus the Colts. I'm excited to watch this. I know Cam from last year. Cam does like throwing the ball. He actually traded when he was the Chiefs. He traded for JT last year. And I think, he traded for JT. I forget who he gave away, but he traded for JT. I mean, he was, hey, we're running the ball still and throwing the ball at Patrick Mahomes. Cole, he's a guy who likes to mix up. He likes to throw the ball. He has, in 3 different leagues, he had 3 extra quarterbacks. I mean, you see a common trend there. He also likes to kind of rock here and there, but not as much as Cam does. I'm intrigued to watch his game broadcast it. We will make sure Cole is muted when he's streaming because Cole just keep going changes sometimes, and we don't need to hear that right now. So I'm interested to see. I am interested to see this game of the week. I think it's gonna be a very close one. If I had to give a score prediction, I think Cam wins because of his running the ball, be able to control the clock. I think he's gonna be able to do that. I don't think the Broncos defense has a good enough run stoppers right now. And the ability to minimize Russell Wilson, I think Cam is going to be understandable to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if Cole gets up fast and early and takes a run game out, then obviously it's going to be a bad one. But if Cam's able to establish a run, use JP, use weapons, using the offensive line as strength to run the ball behind, give her some passes off there and play defense with Buntner, Leonard, all the different weapons you have over on defense. Maybe you stop the Broncos. So I have Cam winning. I think it's gonna be either a close game or a blowout. Like bring like real college football and like Ohio State Notre Dame like this week. It's either gonna be a close game or Ohio State Notre Dame wins or Ohio State's gonna blow the doors off. So it could go either 2 ways.
I definitely agree with that. I haven't, we'll see how, Cole's defense plays this year. Last year, he was that run game, you could get him. So, with JT there, if that's the same this year, that could be a really huge deciding factor in this game. But like you said, if he can't get that run game going, this could be Broncos could get it going. Cole could definitely put up a good 30 if he can't get his run going and get the offense moving, because it's hard to see what you're gonna get from Matt Ryan. So last game he gave up 41 points to the Raiders, who are technically 0-4 right now. So 41 to the Raiders. The Raiders have been struggling in offense. Yeah, they finally started getting some rhythm going, which is good. You like to see that. You like to see get some rhythm, but gave up the 41 to the division rival. We had to restart the game, get the 49ers, and the Broncos was losing by 30 seconds left and ended up coming out and pulling off the win for that one as well. So a lot of close games. I mean, Cole has shown that he can somewhat question the prime time, but when people are watching, we're broadcasting, is he going to be able to focus in or is he going to lose his mind sometimes like he does? So, but that's a week 4 recap. I mean, we covered a lot in here, obviously, in this couple episodes, us being gone, busy doing work, stuff like that. But like we said, life happens. So we just want to be here for you guys, make everything more entertainable. I'm looking forward to week 5, look forward to going to season. We're only 3 weeks away from checking the mid-season awards. And maybe next week we'll have a taste like, hey, who do you think the MVP right now is and stuff like that. We'll go for
MVP, we'll throw in our predictions for offensive MVP. We'll have like a notepad to talk about it. You go for offense player and defense player of the year, stuff like that. So the big 3 awards. Coach of the year, well, I have no idea how Madden does that. Maybe they look at rosters and they look at the records, but we're not gonna get into that one. We'll come with our user of the year towards when we get to the midseason point. So BJ, you got anything else to add to wrap up week 4 recap?
Only thing I can think of is, if anyone has any input they want to add, maybe something they think would be cool to add on here, just let us know. We're more than willing to listen to any feedback or anything that you want added or changed up a little bit. But yeah, other than that, hopefully we can get some other people on and bring some more excitement to the league. But other than that, I'm all good.
Yeah, that goal is bringing people on. So the first guest will actually be next week. It will be the winner of this game of the week. Could be either Cam or Cole, or Wentz. We'll bring them on. We'll have a short conversation on how they feel about Madden, their thoughts about the league and about different teams, stuff in that nature. So I'm praying for Cam because I already deal with Cam and Cole. No, I'm not being biased or favoritism in that one. So, but we'll get other people in here. We'll get Crispy in here. We'll get Nelly in here. And maybe users are struggling. I mean, Chris had a big week 1 win, and he's fallen off the cliff since then. So, and maybe get other teams who are 0-4 looks for wins and stuff like that. We'll get those guys in here if they want to participate, get their feedback. Maybe want to look at the draft if they feel like they're going to be out of postseason contention and stuff like that. How they feel about the games, how things feel different. But other than that, thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Colton signing out. BJ, appreciate you always.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry.